Here's a question the NFL has never really answered honestly. Does the league's personal conduct policy actually apply equally to everyone, or does it get softer the higher up the ladder you go? Players get suspended, fined, and sometimes see their careers completely derailed over conduct violations. But when it comes to owners, the people who actually sign the checks and employ the commissioner himself, history tells a very different story. Let's break down how the NFL has handled owner discipline in the past, and why fans keep asking the same uncomfortable question every single time. First, let's understand what the personal conduct policy actually is. On paper, it's simple. The policy applies to everyone connected to the NFL, players, coaches, executives, and yes, even owners. The idea is that anyone representing the league is held to a standard of conduct, and violations can result in fines, suspensions, or other disciplinary action from the commissioner's office. In theory, those with more power and influence are supposed to be held to an even higher standard, not a lower one. But here's where things get complicated. Let's look at how this has actually played out with NFL owners in the past. Take the case of former Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay. Back in 2014, Irsay pleaded guilty to operating a vehicle while intoxicated. The NFL's response was actually fairly significant for an owner, a 6-game suspension and a $500,000 fine. At the time, that punishment set a real precedent, proving that even an owner could face meaningful discipline after a legal issue. Then there's the case of former Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder. After a lengthy investigation, the league found that Snyder had sexually harassed a team employee and that the organization had also withheld revenue information from the league itself. The result? A $60 million fine. Now on paper, that number sounds massive. $60 million is a life-changing amount of money for almost anyone on the planet. But here's the problem critics point out. When you're talking about NFL ownership, that fine has to be measured against the person's actual net worth. For a billionaire owner, a fine like that can become more of an expensive inconvenience than a true, career-altering consequence. Compare that to how player suspensions work. When a player gets suspended, they lose game checks immediately, their season stats take a hit, their trade value can drop, and in some cases, their entire career trajectory changes forever. There's no billion-dollar cushion softening that blow. This brings us to a more recent situation. The NFL has confirmed it is currently reviewing a case involving San Francisco 49ers owner Jed York under the league's personal conduct policy, following a legal matter that became public recently. As of now, the league has only confirmed that a review is taking place. No further disciplinary details have been announced. And this is exactly where the bigger conversation comes back into focus. Whenever these situations arise involving ownership, the same questions resurface across the league. Will the punishment actually match the severity of what happened? Will it be clearly defined, with real restrictions the person has to follow? Or will it end up being a quiet fine that barely makes headlines a few months down the road? Commissioner Roger Goodell has repeatedly stated that everyone connected to the NFL is held to the same standard, regardless of position or title. But history has made fans and even players skeptical of that claim. When a player is suspended, everyone sees it, the missed games, the lost income, the public scrutiny. When an owner is disciplined, the consequences are often far less visible and far less permanent. So the real question isn't whether the personal conduct policy exists. It clearly does. The real question is whether it's actually enforced with the same weight, regardless of who's sitting in the room. Because if accountability changes depending on your bank account or your title, that's not really a policy, that's a suggestion. What do you think? Should NFL owners face the exact same level of discipline as players under the personal conduct policy, or is a different standard fair given their role in the league? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you found this breakdown insightful, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more NFL news and analysis. See you in the next one.